Hello, hello, and welcome back to Your Life Beyond Belief. I'm Emily, and this is my bestie.
Tiana.
Yay! So, this week's episode is called Catch and Release.
I know when we were thinking about this title, it came to me as like something when you're working on or going through things in life, there's things that you're gonna have to reel in for a season and let go. So catch and release. Emily, catch me up on your week. How has it been? How's it been so far?
It has been productive. I sometimes, when I get really excited about something, I'll dive in fully and forget that life is happening around that. I just get, I'd say low key, but it's basically high key obsessed with it. So
You
I
immerse.
Yes, it is an immersive experience. Yes, that is the healthier way to describe it. So I have been doing work on some of the creative assets around Your Life Beyond Belief. And I've been just super excited about that. I know this is one of the first times that I've been able to kind of just work in branding that I'm excited about and not branding that's prescribed by an organization that I work for. So it's really exciting to just make fun and cute things that make me feel good. And so that's been I've just kind of been in, I guess, I've been in a lot in my apartment, in kind of like inside, but also trying to take a little bit of time outside each day to just kind of unwind. And the sunsets here in Florida have been so gorgeous because of the storms. We have the afternoon storms during the summer. So it just seems like the sky gets so beautiful after that. So I can't complain. I think this is just this this season and like how pretty it is and just enjoying what I get to work on is just
Mhm.
kind of like the definition of that, like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I can't complain. I think this is that life.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
kind of already have started building your life beyond belief, huh?
Yeah, I can't. I listen, if you told 5 years ago me that this was going to be my life, I don't know that I would believe it.
I can totally understand that for sure. This week, I have been looking at like maybe roadblocks and how to like unblock myself when it comes to things of that nature. And so, like, why that is a thing is certain times connecting it back to the title of the episode, there's probably too much in my hand. So I have to release some things so I can catch new things, right? And things serve you for a purpose. I know we talked a little bit about like ways in which I may have started my life beyond belief. Like, I used to dream about like moving to California, and I did that dream, and it was a wonderful time in my life, living very close to Yosemite, getting to hike there a lot more than I even imagined that I would, because my husband got really excited about that. And so anyway, that's for a future episode. But yeah, going to California, living that life beyond belief, and realizing like there was a time for that and letting that go, and having new dreams. Like, my current dream is centered around being able to launch a product in environmental answers to help environmental professionals do their work better using AI. And so right now I'm setting up pillars for that with stuff at work and seeing that being set up, and understanding that if I want to like prioritize that, I have to let go of some other things. So that's been a lot of what I'm working on, and tying it to like the assignment that we talked about prioritization. Like, that's the first thing, like figuring it out and unpacking that. So that's been me.
I when I think about Tiana catching her dreams, which has just been so fun to
Yes.
watch, I think about I just want to share our little story because Tiana and I used to work together
A long time ago.
9 or
Continue.
10 years ago, something like that. And we were blessed to kind of develop a friendship out of that job that we were in. But I remember sitting in her office talking about our dreams. And so one of her dreams, like she said, was moving to California. And my dream was living by the beach. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, Tiana, you're so going to like accomplish this dream and you're going to live in California and I'm going to come and visit you. And then I'm going to live at the beach. And it's crazy to look back and see that we both caught those dreams. So she moved to California. I definitely visited her in California because like I had to. She took an iconic picture of me on a dinosaur. And
I think that's still your picture today on
I
Facebook.
can, it's perfect. Like I wish that we didn't find perfection so early in life. Because
You're
people
so
are
funny.
probably like, that's not even you anymore. I still have that shirt. I could put it on. We could go to California and take another one.
I know exactly where that is.
I don't, but I would follow you anywhere.
Yeah, I'll take you right there.
It was perfection. And now I live across the street from the beach, and it was something, as a girl who grew up in a small town in West Virginia, I just cannot even believe that I got here. And it just, I mean, I couldn't have even shown, I couldn't have drawn you a map to getting here, but it happened. And so that is one of the reasons that we are both so inspired about kind of designing your life into what you want it to be. And truthfully, we're making this for ourselves and sharing it with you, because this is something that's so important and near and dear to our hearts, is kind of like growing and learning about ourselves and kind of creating the life that we envision, or the lives that we envision. Um, but I also really wanted to touch on what you just said about making space. So part of catching and releasing is like, okay, like we caught up here. I live at the beach now. I'm going to release all of the energy that I put on that, or release maybe some other things that I wanted to do that don't really align with who I am anymore, to make room for the next chapter, the next piece of life. I just, making room, just letting go of some things so that you have the emotional energy and space to become the next version of you.
Yeah, I totally that's exactly what I was meaning. I know for me during this next week, I'm preparing for a trip. I think you are also preparing for a trip.
I am.
I'm actually preparing for a trip to go to California, so I'll be in California for a week. I'm going to Monterey, and it's nice cuz like I really love that area. Central Coast is like one of my favorite parts of California. If I ever move back, it'd probably be to Monterey. So there's
Ooh,
where I love the Central Coast. So it's like
I'll
really,
come
really
visit you
nice.
in Monterey.
Oh, come. You'd be very welcome. But yeah, gonna spend some time. I'm doing like a poster presentation on offshore wind development, which was tied to a previous trip I did when I went to Denmark. So it's like having your work also being able to weave through and connect is nice, because it's designed or connected to like my purpose and what I'm working on. So it never feels disconnected. And so getting to this point has been a dream for me of like being able to work on projects and let it like fully align with what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So looking forward to preparing for that trip. I actually already have my suitcase pretty much packed, which for me is a
Whoa.
big step because when we're going on our family trip, I feel like I was packing like literally like the night before. But this past weekend, I actually started to pack and put some ideas around the outfits and like how I want it to look, but also like what outfits do I have in my closet that are my favorite outfits. And before I go on a long tangent, I am going through and letting go of a lot of clothes right now because that's a part of releasing things that aren't like serving me anymore. In this period, I realized that some of the things I've been struggling with, like as far as like declutter, if you haven't decluttered in a while, then you have too much stuff, and I have stuff that I needed to let go of a long time ago, but for some reason I'm still holding on to them. We can unpack that later. The main point is like packing the things that I like to wear in the suitcase and seeing like, okay, these are the items that I know I want to keep. And it makes it easier this week as I'm decluttering to get rid of some things because I like already packed away my favorite outfits. I know I have a week's worth of favorite outfits inside that suitcase, so I don't have to like worry about that. And so when I'm letting go of stuff, I know I'm like, oh, but I have a week's worth of favorite outfits, so it should be okay. Anyway, that's what I'm working on this week. What are you working on this week, Emily?
Oof, I feel like you just said so many wonderful things, though. Like, I don't even want to go into my stuff yet.
All right, you can address all the dots if there's anything that connected.
um, yeah, I mean, so many of the things that we talk about are kind of aligned in both of our lives. So I I can definitely, it definitely resonates with me that you're kind of like thinning out your closet. And as you were talking about that, I was just thinking about, well, you said something about purpose, and I think that I want to circle back to that later. But kind of like the idea of, okay, what are my favorite items of clothing? and I can just kind of like let go of those things that aren't part of my favorites collection. And I was trying to think of what that looks like for us emotionally, right? Like our favorite ways of feeling, our favorite things to do. And I guess that kind of aligns with your purpose conversation. Like, what are those things that we do that align with our purpose? That we can kind of like hold on to those things and release other things. And so for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, like creativity, like I like the things that I like doing. I'm like, how do I align my life and design my life so that it includes more of those things? And I can let go of maybe like the expectations other people have of me, or kind of like things that I'm doing because I mean, a lot of things have to do with other people, right? Things that we've been conditioned to feel like we need or we want, kind of like depending on where we are in life, the roles that we have in life, like how old we are, and different things that are kind of expected of us at certain times or through certain responsibilities that we have and everything like that. So it just makes me think, like, how many things can I kind of try to align myself with, and how many things can I really let go of? Like, for me, I definitely think about kind of like I don't see my family as much as I want to or as much as they want me to, but how do I release the energy that I feel around guilt in certain areas of my life so that I can use that energy to do something else? Um, so as you were talking about kind of like thinning out your closet, I was like, how can I thin out my closet of emotions? How can I thin out my closet of energy? How can I thin out all of these things to make it more aligned with where I'm going? um, and then kind of like as you were talking about before, reprioritizing in life, so that we have room for everything that we're striving for.
So just to build off, but it might feel like a pivot, but it's connected. Earlier this week, I was on Instagram scrolling like we all do, and I saw this clip. This one creator, which if I figure out who it was, I will find a way to give them credit. But the point is that she did this like kind of like the less than equal sign type thing, but it was just like less than. On one side was acceptance. So it was eating the acceptance, and then forgiveness was on the other side. So like I think when you talk about the emotional piece, when it comes to like things that you have to let go of, sometimes it's like you feel like, oh, I need to forgive myself or not feel bad about it. But I thought it was just insightful to just like accept it like a little bit more, accept the reality that, though you want to be able to see your family, that's not a part of like this season in your life, and that's okay. You have to accept it. And I know like when I was listening to you talk now, I thought about reflecting on like my childhood and like the time in which I got to see my parents and be my parents a lot. And then like now that's not a part of my reality, and accepting that these things pass. So like, you get to enjoy it, try to enjoy it fully while you're doing it, right? Because once it passes, it's kind of like it's over and it needs to serve you in that time period, and then you have to let it go. So the need to hoard or hold on to things is something that, in order for you to live a life beyond your belief or your life beyond belief, I do think is a very critical part of the process of like you hold it and then you let it go.
I think that's a great point. It reminds me of, I have a friend who always tells me nothing lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, that's like a very comforting thing when you're going through something uncomfortable. It's like nothing lasts forever. You're really sad today, nothing lasts forever. Like this situation that you're in, nothing lasts forever. It's going to get good again. But if we pull it the thread further, unfortunately, like even the good things don't last forever. Like, and so it's kind of a double-edged sword. um, but I like to think about the fact that, so when I'm enjoying myself, I try to remind myself to be present, because I'm just kind of like, okay, Emily, nothing lasts forever. Really be present in this. Really appreciate where you are. And then when I am down or kind of feeling more negative emotions, or in a negative season, I also try to tell myself, okay, nothing lasts forever. But it's just kind of like that thing where accepting that nothing lasts forever is kind of like where you can release that, like, okay, well, nothing lasts forever, it's over, you can release it now, you don't need to hold on to that. And so I think that there are certain things that I'm holding on to, like maybe that'll come back. Maybe I'm not ready to let go of that yet.
And I think, just to like comfort that statement, I think it's okay to hold on to things a little bit longer. Like, there's like a technique for cleaning your closet that I was reading about. Essentially, like you can have a bin of stuff that you can hold on to a little bit longer. So I have to cough. Hold on.
I really like the a little bit longer concept. I like that.
I would love for you to unpack that a little bit and what that means to you when I say it.
I I think so. It's kind of like when we talked the other week about like letting yourself freak out first and just giving yourself like space for that emotion. So it kind of aligns with that for me. It's saying, for me, it's saying, um, okay, like you're not exactly ready. So instead of forcing yourself, like get rid of the things that you're ready to get rid of or like let go of those things, and then here like make a space for this where you're not exactly ready but you're not exactly using it anymore, you're not there anymore, you're not ready to fully let it go. So it's just kind of like a transition space where it's just kind of like staged to go, but you don't have to let go of it yet, and it gives yourself time to kind of process letting it go.
I think that's helpful. I also know that, there's certain seasons where we have to be quick about letting certain things go as well. Things that we know that are toxic, some people might say like relationships, whether they're
Facts.
friendships or
Facts.
more, like you got to let those things go quickly because you let it linger too long. Then it somehow leaves more of an impression and takes up more of your time. Time is a limited resource, as we all know. And I know I shared last week I was in a car accident and how it like accelerated my like processing about like, okay, life is short. You never know when it's going to stop for you. So you might as well live it fully in intent, right? So, like, I think like having the intention of like, I know for this period of time, I'm going to deal with this for a little bit longer. And then once that time period is over, you know, and I think that executes like or displays resilience. I know you've done that in the past where you might do something for a duration of time and then like, I know that by this time I'm going to cut it off. And if it happens sooner, great. If it happens later, I need to make sure it ends. So anyway, that's how I think about that.
Yeah, there's certain things in life that definitely have an expiration date.
Mm-mm.
And
Expiration date.
expiration date, girl, that's some old milk. Get rid of it.
Yeah, that smells bad. Why are you keeping
Yeah.
that around? That's sour.
It's not trash day yet, so I'll just leave it there for another couple of days.
Days. Yeah, but you could also like find a trash can anywhere and let it go. It's not that big sometimes. You just gotta like throw it away. So
It,
anyway.
it reminds me of the phrase, or it's an old saying or something. I'm sure I saw it on social media where it says like when you realize you're on the wrong train, get off at the next stop because the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive the trip back is.
Hey.
Oof. And I was just like, man, how many wrong trains have I been on at this
I
point?
know.
And it is so
But
expensive. It is, I am learning, like, it's getting less and less expensive on my return trip.
mm,
And as we've talked about before, for me, it's momentum, it's forward progress. So even though I may still be on the wrong train now and then, I'm excited that my return trip has been less and less expensive every time.
oh no, that's good. That means you're waking up to the change. Like you're waking up to like, oh, this is wrong. Let me get off. Because that's powerful. I'm happy for you. That makes it much easier to release.
Yeah.
Did you do fishing when you were growing up?
I did. I used to go fishing with my dad.
Yeah. Oh man. So then
Yeah.
you know a lot about catch and release and fishing. I know
Yeah.
my granddad used to like to do like fry Fridays. Like he would fish fry on Friday, so he'd catch fish and then go down and then fry them. So anyway, when I think about this episode of Catch and Release, I also think about like positive memories of like fishing and stuff like that. And I'm glad you have one of those memories too, or a lot of them, but that
Yeah.
connection to it as well.
Yeah. I was really excited when we talked about it because it made me think of going on vacation with my dad. And even the last couple of times that I went fishing with him, I remember because I had kind of turned into like, okay, like I'm not sure that this is the most exciting thing for me anymore. But
Hmm.
because of the fact that kind of like his ability level had changed, it was kind of fun to collaboratively fish with him. So I would when I was a kid, I never put like worms on the hook or anything like that. It was super gross. I'd be like, Dad, do it for me. Ew.
Hmm.
I loved catching fish. That was my favorite thing. I loved the success. And my dad would make me take the fish and put it back in the water, and it was a whole experience for me. It was very scary. It'd be moving around in my hands. I'd be like, Dad. There was one time I'm sure that I dropped it on the shore. And I was too scared to pick it up because it was freaking out. We got it back in the water. Don't worry, he's fine. Um,
We hope he's fine.
he's fine. He's fine. He got a little freaked out. I get freaked out too. We both have trauma from it.
Wow. Just wow.
But anyway,
Memories, man.
yeah, I remember doing that. So one of the last times we went fishing, I remember I was like putting the worms on the hook for my dad, and like it just kind of everything came full circle, and it was a really fun thing to do together. So I treasure that memory.
We got to go fishing. Let's put that on our to-do list of things that we can do together. That'd be fun. I like that as an activity. A bestie activity, yeah, no. That's nice. It's so powerful, like storytelling. I know for me, like you telling me that right now, I feel like I was there on the beach with the fish. Flopping. I could see it. I could see the fish flopping. See it flopping.
I know, the poor little guy. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, but also I just don't feel capable of picking it up. My dad runs over and picks it up and puts it in the water.
It's good to have good mentors and like people around to help you with stuff like that. I think that's another point, because there's sometimes going to be some things you need help to just move out the way. So that's good. Yeah. I get it. That's funny. So I saw on Instagram this week you posted your life by design and life by default, and I wanted to know if you could like unpack that for us a little bit more, because I'm thinking through that assignment right now.
Girl, me too. So I think that one of the things with these assignments, and I don't know if you've ever felt, I know you went back to school as an adult, and I've thought a lot about going back to school as an adult just because the way that I learn is different. I really appreciate learning and reflecting a lot more than I did when I was in college. And so one of the things that I want to highlight about this activity is that this is for you. Like, this is for you. This is for me. It's not, there's no due date. Exactly. So when we think about your life by default and your life by design, really reflect and think about what your life by default looks like, and be fully and brutally honest with yourself. What do you do? What do you spend your time on? What does it look like? Even if you just like in your notes app on your phone, even if you just kind of like wrote down hour by hour, like an hour check-in, what are you doing? What did today look like? It's really kind of taking inventory of what you're currently doing in your life. And as we said, I think on last week's episode, if you think about learning a skill and it takes maybe 4 hours a week for 10 weeks to learn a skill, how are you putting that into your life? And if you're not putting that into your life, but you have something that you want down the road, how are you ever going to get there if you're not kind of making changes and making space for that in your life? So the default is to see what you're currently doing, and the by design is to look at those things that you're doing by default and see what you can release, see what you want to keep, and see what things that you want to add to maybe kind of start to create the life that you want. I know that for me, I like to kind of like chip away at things, and I like momentum. So if I spend an hour or two doing something one week, I'm like, okay, I want to spend at least an hour or two doing that this week too, so that I don't lose my momentum. I want to make sure that I'm continuing to make progress. Even if it's a tiny bit of progress, I want to continue to make progress, and that keeps me going on what I'm working on.
No, that's cool, and I appreciate you explaining it in that way. In a sense, if there's not a due date, it's probably an ever developing process depending on what season you're in, how much time you're able to spend on particular things. I know something that I'm working for or working towards or looking forward to is like a certain type of like flow with areas of my life, which looks like a routine, because I'm like, I need that just based on like how I process the world. But lately my life has been like not that. But my son starts at his child development center soon. So I know from 9 to 3, he's not going to be at the house. So I know I'll have that window of time to really like start to create systems that work best for me in my workflow. And I'm really looking forward to that. And like, I know that that window will not always be like his schedule's going to change eventually soon, and then like time just keeps going. But like with the time that I have, I'm going to maximize it and work on it and develop or design it based on what I'm keeping track of right now. And so I appreciate the reminder of like if you don't know what you're already doing, it's hard to know what you want to do or how much time you have to do what you want to do, because there might be stuff that's non-negotiable, like different responsibilities. And then there's stuff that might be negotiable. Like, man, I've been spending a lot of time on this particular thing, like whether that looks like social media or hanging out with people who aren't all the way your friends, but maybe they're your friends from a certain season in your life, but you kept them around because they were your friends and you don't want to let them go. So, things to think about.
Yeah. I think there's so much in life about transition. And so, as we continue to talk about kind of like things that we may not be ready to release yet, I just kind of think transition, and I feel like we don't give enough space in life to transition. It's just kind of like we're either here where we were or we're there, but there are so many things in life that are like constantly changing. Nothing lasts forever. So how many things kind of like aren't where they were and aren't where they're going to be yet? I know I'm not where I was and I'm not where I'm going to be. So I'm in like a weird space of, even with your life beyond belief, I'm in a weird space of like, it's real. It's not just like, so I was imagining it with you and now it's a real thing. And I'm trying to make the transition between kind of like, oh, this is a real consistent thing that we're working on. That's exciting. But then it just like, I'm just stuck in the middle in this place where there are certain things that I don't know what to do yet. And I know that as we go along, I'll figure it out. But I think in building our lives beyond belief, there is a lot of transition because we're trying to go from here to there. And from here to there isn't a straight line. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're going back a couple of steps. Sometimes you'll feel it, that forward momentum. And I think that there's a lot to kind of getting comfortable in a transition because nothing happens overnight. So there is a season that's just a transition season that will probably feel pretty uncomfortable. You won't necessarily know the next steps. You don't exactly know how like the vision will become realized. But it's you have to keep going forward because you're not where you were. You're just not.
I think avoiding the uncomfortable during a transition can hold you back. At least that's what I have observed in my own life. And what I was reflecting on at like 4 o'clock this morning, I was like, okay, you're avoiding the uncomfortable part of a transition, and why are you avoiding it? Well, there could be many reasons. I know for me personally, it's like I don't know if this is going to have the impact that I want. So I'm trying to control an outcome, or I don't know what such and such may think. So then I'm trying to control someone else's thoughts. And so when you release those things and you will just like allow yourself to experience the uncomfortableness of not knowing, I think you go faster. And I commend you on doing that right now with like building out this brand and just keep moving forward because it is uncomfortable. You don't know how it's going to be received. You don't know who it's going to connect to, but that's not necessarily the point. The point is to build something of value that will help people go from their point A to point B, whatever that looks like in their life. I'm really excited for those who join us on the retreat because I think that that'll be something that they will really gain from the opportunity. It's like you're going from one point to another and it's going to have a lasting impact because you made a decision and you committed to it. And you might have to let go of some other things you've committed to make this choice, but I think it'll be something of value for you. So that's my invite. Come on the retreat with us.
I yes, exactly. It's because really what it is an invitation to invest in yourself, to spend time on yourself, to build trust with yourself, to start creating your vision or start taking steps or defining what your vision is, defining what the map to get there is. Because I think, if I spent more time figuring out kind of like, okay, what are my next steps? And it is, we're getting close to the end of the month. So that's exciting because we get to kind of like plan out our next month. That's something that I've been doing lately. And it's just been so much fun to like look at your blank slate of a month and just be like, okay, like what am I going to spend time on this month? What are my goals? What am I going to try to kind of squeeze in before the end of the next month? Um, but I think that the biggest thing is kind of like just taking time for yourself to invest in yourself, to figure out how you can grow, and to kind of like work on developing and growing is just like that time away is just going to be so important. I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be transformative for us just
Oh
to
no,
have
it will
time to
be.
focus.
Yeah, the time to focus, the time to do it where you're deactivating from whatever you currently do, right? So it's a set aside time for you to just focus on you. And, for some folks that you can come on the retreat, it might be work centered, it might be life centered, it can be centered on what you need it to be. I know for me, it's really important to have time to just focus and build out what 2027 is going to look like. So a big part of your life beyond belief, having it in October, it was intentional in a sense of it gives you time before the holidays, before the time of year where we all kind of like switch gears. So you have your plan, your roadmap, at least an outline of what you want to do in 2027. Hit Q1, Q2, Q3 goals, being able to go through the year with a guide or a map that you designed while you were investing in yourself. That's the vision.
And I think just to add on to that, part of what we've been talking about is leading yourself first. So part of the development work that we're doing in Belize is going to be about kind of like removing, well, not removing doubt, but kind of like working through doubt, or working with kind of like all of the things that we might want to release, and kind of like really focusing in on building trust with yourself, figuring out what you want, and like continuing to work towards that um, in meaningful ways, but kind of like really staying focused on what you want without being concerned so much about like what other people in your life want, what other people in your life are feeling about it, whether they believe in you, whether they don't believe in you, whether they see your vision yet. Because some people, Tiana and I have talked about this a lot, some people can't see your vision. It's not that they don't believe in you or don't think that you can do it, but you'll kind of get kind of negativity or criticism because they can't see what it looks like yet. Once you build it, once you create it, or you have that life, they can see it and they're like, oh yeah, like, of course you could do it. But sometimes when it's still theoretical, sometimes when you're still imagining it, when you're still creating it, it's really hard for other people to see. And so getting through that season can be really uncomfortable too. And so we want to make sure you have tools to deal with that.
Yep. It's acceptance, a big part of it is acceptance that like this is what comes with this process. So I'm really excited to work on that with you and with you all. So I wanted to wrap up this episode with basically saying, I guess, what it is that I'm hoping to bring into my life as I go on this trip to
Mm-hmm.
Monterey. What I'm calling into my life and for my life beyond belief is it's that of confidence, knowing that I am chosen to do the work that I'm doing and the information that I'm bringing has value. It is not something that is of less value because I thought of it. And that is something that I'm working through in a sense of like things that I think of have just as much value as someone else's thought. And there's a reason why it's come to me, and sharing that is a part of what I'm bringing. Because in the past, I have doubted why isn't this being talked about? Maybe it's because it's not important. No, it isn't being talked about because you're supposed to talk about it and you're supposed to bring it forward. And so having that confidence to bring forward the idea that you have is what I'm calling in for myself this week.
I want to call that for me too. I feel like every time you do something, I'm just kind of like, okay, never mind my thing. I like Tiana's thing.
I'm gonna have you go first next time. I'm like, you're going first. You can borrow some things, but I'm ready for you to think about. Because did you even tell everybody where are you going? Because you're going on your own trip.
I'm going to Cabo.
Oh,
So I'm pretty excited. It's a girls' trip. It's just going to be like a lot of fun.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
It is going to be so much fun. I haven't been to Cabo before. I've been to lots of places, but I haven't been to Cabo. So we're going to have an amazing time. It looks beautiful. And
Can't wait to see those stories.
Oh,
All that
girl,
content. I'm
it's going to be
excited.
everywhere. Um, I think that I'm on a similar journey to you. So as you're talking about that, it really resonates with me that, as we start walking in our purpose, like we all have a purpose, we all have alignment with like certain things that we are meant to do, like the conversations that we are meant to have. And even if somebody else came forward with your idea, they wouldn't discuss it the way that you discuss it. They wouldn't make meaning or add meaning and experience to it the way that you do. And so I feel like the world needs each of us to show up fully, because no one can do anything exactly the way you can do it. And I think that's one of the things that gives us so much value. We have value and we decide to share it. So it's not because you have value because you have these ideas to share. You have all of these beautiful ideas, your beautiful experience, everything that makes Tiana Tiana. And you sharing those things with the world, the way that you share it could resonate with someone that like nothing else has resonated with. And I just think it's so important that you're really stepping into that confidently. And I know how hard that is just because I do the same thing. Last week, Tiana challenged me to start doing the little assignment videos with my little cutie. And I was just like, I don't know. But once I did a couple of them, I was just kind of like, okay, this is kind of fun. I like doing these little videos. And that's something that I wouldn't have stepped into confidently if my friend wasn't like, come on, you got to do this. So I think part of what we're doing here with Your Life Beyond Belief is we're all being cheerleaders the same way Tiana has been my cheerleader. Because we all need somebody to cheer us on. So if you don't have your bestie in this season to cheer you on, we are here to cheer you on. That's part of what we're creating this community for.
We're rooting for you. So you have that voice of confidence to keep you going forward because it's already in you. And I'm excited for you and your journey too. So yeah, if you're watching this video and you feel inspired, I would love for you to like write a comment. Let us know if there's anything that resonated with you. And if you're interested in going on a retreat with us, you should write Belize. We can get you that information as quickly as possible.
Yes, we can.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you would like to share for this episode, Emily?
Wherever you are in your journey, just keep going. Just keep going. That's all you have to do. Just keep that momentum going, no matter how small the steps are, no matter how big the steps are, and just keep going.
I love that. And also remember, if you're carrying something that's heavy and you don't need it, you can release it. Remember, you can let things go.
We're giving you permission.
Do it. All right. Thank you for watching another episode of Your Life Beyond Belief. Talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.